Twisted Cyclone is an RMC hybrid coaster located at Six Flags Over Georgia in Austell, Georgia, and today I will be giving my full thoughts on it, beginning with a bit of history and the stats, before going over a POV of the ride and what I think of each element, and then I will finish by giving the coaster a final score out of 10. A quick thing to mention is that I was only at this park for an hour and a half, meaning I only got one chance to experience this coaster in the back row, so all of these thoughts will be coming from the perspective of someone who hasn't experienced this ride hauling. But with that said, let's get straight into it with a little bit of history. In 1990, a wooden coaster by the name of Georgia's Cyclone opened to the public as Six Flags Over Georgia's second wooden coaster. Manufactured by Din, the layout was made to resemble the famous Coney Island Cyclone. Unfortunately, as the Woody aged, it became very rough and received many complaints from riders. So, on July 17, 2017, the park would announce the ride's closure. However, the Cyclone wasn't really finished. Six Flags had a different plan, involving a new layout with steel track manufactured by Rocky Mountain Construction, or RMC. Now the original wooden structure would be home to many airtime hills and even inversions. The new hybrid coaster opened up on May 25, 2018, to rave reviews of strong airtime and a very fun ride experience. The new attraction stands at a height of 100 feet, reaches a max speed of 50 miles per hour, and has a short track length of 2,400 feet. Despite these unimpressive stats, however, the ride packs a serious punch. Your ride on Twisted Cyclone begins by pulling out of the station into a series of little twisted hills that don't necessarily give airtime, but are just fun. You then begin rising up a short and loud chain lift before cresting over the top and going down the 75-degree twisted drop. In the back, you get whipped over the top, offering some very strong ejector as you fall. You also get laterals about halfway down, as the track twists slightly to the left. After the amazing drop, you go up into your first of 3 inversions on the ride, a 0G roll. It provides a little bit of hang time, but overall it really isn't anything super special. You then turn right and get flung into another 0G roll. It seems exactly like the first until the end of it, which you get whipped out of, resulting in some strong but also smooth laterals. These two rolls together and the turn in between altogether create an element known as the reverse cobra roll, and while it isn't the best moment of the ride, it is still pretty fun. Next you bank right, but don't turn on the extremely visually appealing wave turn. You get flung onto your side and held there before plummeting back down towards the ground. However, while on your side, you also experience strong and sustained ejector airtime. This is one of my favorite moments of the ride, as sideways airtime is one of the coolest things you can experience on a coaster, in my opinion. Next you experience yet another pop of ejector, but this one is cut short by a turn at the end of it. Still though, it is very powerful. Once you're back in your seat, the turn that cut off the previous hill pulls you up and banks far to the left. It doesn't give any laterals or airtime, but it is still a very fun little element, and leads into what I find to be the single best moment of the coaster, an incredibly powerful ejector airtime hill. It isn't taken very fast, but the top is more tight than an average hill, meaning you get whipped out of your seat. However, it isn't very sustained, and you get punched right back down as you head into the third and final inversion, yet another 0G roll. You actually go through this element slower than most others, so it gives some solid hang time. You twist out of it and hit the second strongest airtime moment of the ride, a tiny little hill with strong ejector. This leads you into one more very strong ejector airtime hill, before turning left into an overbank, and the ride finishes by going up and twisting down to the right, and then going back up to the left and into the brake run, ending the incredible coaster. Twisted Cyclone features a normal RMC lap bar and shin guard, like almost every other coaster by the company. There's also a seatbelt that can hurt a little bit on your thigh depending on how the buckle is placed, so be aware of that, but I don't find it to be a big deal. I personally don't have a big problem with the restraints at all. They aren't the best by any means, but they also aren't the worst things ever, like some people say. The trains also have a red or black car in the front, depending on which one you have, and it actually looks very nice. The theme of the ride is very loose, but what I gathered is that you're in some sort of cyclone, and you have to ride it out? There isn't much to support it other than some signs on the lift hill, and some stuff in the front of the main station and queue building, so if anyone who comes here more often knows more about the theme, please let me know in the comments. Overall, I really enjoyed this coaster. It is far from being the tallest, fastest, or longest, but it is very fun and does the few things it does about as well as it is possible to do, and it is also one of the smoothest coasters I have ever ridden. So for that reason, it is one of my favorite coasters, and I am going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. It ranks as my number 3 coaster of 60 that I have ridden, and it would probably move up had I ridden it when it was hauling. So that's going to do it for my review of the RMC hybrid coaster Twisted Cyclone. If you have ridden it, please make sure to tell me what you think in the comments and whether you agree or disagree with my thoughts, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.